Welcome to our debut episode where we'll introduce ourselves and share our personal journeys in aerospace and defense sector. But before we start, we wanted to really highlight, with being our Black History Month, it's important that we take a moment to celebrate the trailblazers and visionaries who paved the way for all of us in aerospace and defense. Black history is American history and is filled with remarkable individuals who've made significant contributions to this industry. Robert, who are some of the names that come up that you think about when you as trailblazers of our industry?
There are so many people that have made an impact for Black history, but some that really come to mind right now are Bessie Coleman, the first African American woman to hold a pilot's license, Dion S. Bluford Jr., the first African American astronaut to travel to space, and General Daniel Chappie James Jr., the first African American four-star general in the United States Air Force. And they all have left an indelible mark on the aerospace and defense history. Their stories are really a testament to the resilience, talent, and determination of Black leaders in our industry. As we celebrate Black History Month, let's honor these legacies and continue the work that they started. Now, let's hear more about your background, Dwayne, to get us kicked off.
I've been in the industry about 25 years. I am a born and raised Memphis, Tennessee kid. I wanted to be an athlete slash engineer route, graduated and went to a couple schools, Lamont University in Jackson, Tennessee, where I played football and majored in physics, and then transferred to Tennessee Tech University, where I finished up my degree. I got a dual degree in industrial engineering and in business. And from there, I was just about to go and join grad school. This was in the mid 90s time at the University of Tennessee. And this company called Raytheon came a calling. And it was right during the time in that time frame where they had the famous Last Supper, if you will, with all where the industry went from these huge players of 10 over 10 big industries to like six or so major A&D players, and particularly on the defense side. So I moved out to Tucson, Arizona, where I was a part of an operations background, classical industrial engineer. Started there learning the back end of the business, got into IPT leadership. Then I did that for a couple years, and then I wanted to be more on the design side, and I got into learning all about engineering, design engineering from a missile perspective. So you can imagine how that worked. Did that pretty well, got into systems engineering, got into proposal work, proposal management. And then what really kicked it all off, that really set my career off, was when I joined this organization called Advanced Economic Analysis. And this basically was where I got my master's working my master's. I finished up at U of A in engineering economy. And basically it's all about being able to predict what a system would cost, a missile, radar, you name it, at any point in its design phase, and working with the customer to help. And it was a great experience, and it gave me a lot of exposure to the whole plethora of how business model works, how our customer funds us, how we get funded, and also got me into levels of leadership of where I could see where the executives were, if you will. That's, that was that first place. And I became pretty good at that. As a Six Sigma expert, that was my concentration. Then I left Raytheon in the 2012, 2013 timeframe and joined UTC, where I wanted to get into more of the program leadership side, the execution side, as I like to call it, where you're actually leading a group of program managers. I worked in the space systems business, and then I moved on to my first executive leadership role, where I was actually P&L leader in our pump site in Rockford, Illinois. A really great experience. Was able to grow that business, almost triple that business by the time we finished. Well, a lot of growth in that, working a lot of around the abundance of the F-35 product line. And then I decided that, hey, I wanted to learn more about the aerospace side, the commercial side of the business. And I joined the BD organization at what was then a corporate UTAS. From there, was really running operations, being the chief of staff of that organization. worked directly for a set of executives, working and being the face of the customer community. And at the same time, if you are versed in what United Technology is all about, they do Harvard case studies on how to do mergers and acquisitions. And so I got engaged in acquisition or Rockwell Collins to UTC, which became Collins Aerospace. And then from that perspective, we became Collins Aerospace. I moved back into the BD role, working customer accounts, kind of in the same vein as what was before, but with the different jersey on, which was pretty cool. And then probably a year later, I got drafted to join the biggest merger in aerospace history, was between UTC and my former company, Raytheon. This is what I think what pivoted me in my career to where it is now, of being able to really understand cultures of two big, huge behemoth organizations, and then using all my experiences on both sides to close that deal, and then as well as integrating us to what is now called RTX. And it was a great experience from there. After that role, went back into I want to call it the legacy Raytheon business, where I did some work on closing out some synergy work. From that merger, we were able to grow that portfolio from a revenue synergy perspective from 8 billion when I got it to now it's upwards of 30 billion in the pipeline of new businesses, the opportunities that's spread across the entire RTX portfolio. And now I am what we call a strategic capture executive for our advanced products and solutions product line, where I'm out working, looking at new opportunities and growing capabilities on several aircraft, where we look at different wide bodies and high value airborne assets, and even working from the Air Force perspective, and even working newer programs from a SAP MTI perspective. Really excited, been blessed in my career, been done a lot, but still it starts with that traditional engineering. That's why me and you get along pretty well, Rob. And it's blessed to be in a great industry that's continuing to morph and grow, but also it still has those fundamentals with which it's all about. What about you, man?
Wow, such a great career journey across aerospace. Props to you about all the things you've been able to accomplish in such a short time. And I know 25 years isn't a short time, but I know firsthand from you that you have so much left in the tank to give back and help this next generation of leaders progress. Let me provide some additional information about my own career journey. My career journey has always been in the aerospace industry, working for two Fortune 50 companies in Boeing and United Technology Corporation. I have over 13 years of industry experience within supply chain, operations, quality, and program management, where I've spent the past 5, now going on 6 years with Boeing. My current position at Boeing is within the supply chain function, but it has a program management focus as a supplier program manager for Boeing Defense, Space, and Security. I lead the supply chain execution, business strategy, and stakeholder engagement of a global programs portfolio to fulfill customer needs. In my career, my domain expertise has spanned across jet engines, helicopters, aircraft parts, military platforms, and autonomous development programs. And autonomous development programs is really a passion of mine, and where I continue to see the biggest growth for the aerospace industry. And coincidentally, this is where the majority of my time at Boeing has been supporting various autonomous aircraft programs. A few of them are the MQ-25 program, which is an unmanned aircraft system designed for the U.S. Navy, and it will provide the needed robust refueling capability, thereby extending the combat range of deployed bombers and fighters. MQ-28, which is a new uncrewed aircraft designed and developed in Australia, utilizing artificial intelligence to be a force multiplier for the most elite air power systems, and it's designed to work as a smart team with existing military aircraft to complement and extend airborne missions. And then lastly, the QF-16 program, which is a full-scale aerial target that will provide the next generation of combat training and testing for U.S. warfighters. And this is really just a snippet of the autonomous technology capabilities that I could dive deep into for future episodes. Now, prior to joining Boeing in 2018, I spent 7 wonderful years with United Technology Corporation. where I've held various levels of positions of increasing responsibility across every one of their business units. I am a graduate of the UTC Operations Leadership Program, which is a 2-year rotational program to develop the next future leaders of the company. And then other positions I've rotated through during my UTC stint include global supplier quality engineer, a supply chain specialist, an industrial engineering specialist, a transition project manager, and a supplier quality assurance representative. Another passion of mine is the progression of minorities within the science, technology, engineering, and math fields, which is how we are really like-minded, Dwayne. Now, I'm originally from Jackson, Mississippi, so I have those down south roots similar to yourself. I went to Howard University where I earned a Bachelor of Science degree in mechanical engineering and have my Master's of Business Administration and Supply Chain and Marketing. I also have various certifications in program management, engineering, and leaderships from prestigious universities as well as organizations. For me growing up, I've always been a huge Legos guy, which is really what contributed to my interest in STEM and being more of a hands-on person. And it's really interesting to see Lego fanatics now have a show called Lego Masters that highlights their passions and how fun it can be. And that's just a little bit about my background and how I came to be in the position I am right now. And I'm really excited to see that we have this podcast platform together to explore these various topics.
It just always amazes me because they don't, the world doesn't see folks like us, right? Too much. We're not advertised high out there, man. But just to hear your voice and your tone and just knowing the passions you got for, autonomous vehicles and AI and at that tech forefront, right? The guy who can be the chief engineer or the lead technologist or the research fellow who will teach us novices about how these technologies are going to move both not only in our industry but across our world today. Obviously, autonomous and AI is everything everywhere, right? And then we're trying to whoever can leverage that technology and what we can do, we can get there, man. So it's such an honor to go on this podcast journey with you. And we're going to share, and it's going to be great to get our passions, dual passions out there for the world to see. Excellent.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing, and I look forward to it. I think that our audience will look forward to seeing what we have as far as next episodes and things like that as we pull in speakers and share more about what we see the industry and the world really going forward.
Absolutely.
As we wrap up this episode, we want to thank our audience for tuning in to Brothers in Aerospace and Defense.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed this exploration of getting to know us from both a technical and business perspective.
Remember to really subscribe, rate, and share this podcast with your friends and colleagues.
And you can also find us both on LinkedIn at Dwayne M. Allen or Robert Wesley, where you can learn more about our career journeys and passions. We also have links to our newsletters. Mine focuses on our exceptional leadership philosophy, and Robert's focuses on those game-changing technologies that are out there. We want you to stay tuned for more inspiring stories and groundbreaking technology and business insights and our guests in future episodes.